Hi, it's Cindy. I just wanted to get back with you guys about my life pre-keto. In 2003, I met my husband. He's my third husband, and I'm his third wife. We've been married now 19 years. He's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. But in 2004, we got married, and I just was happy and putting on weight like crazy. And I had gotten up to 269.9 and decided, thanks to my sister, her persistence in starting keto in September 2020. I was morbidly obese most of my adult life, and I was okay, but really I wasn't. I knew what was coming. My parents died very young. My dad was 56 and my mom was 74. I am one of 5 kids. My brother, 4 sisters, 4 girls and 1 boy. And my brother was the youngest. He passed away at the age of 49. So as I get older, and I'll be 65 in May, those numbers really hit home. So when I started keto, I started strict, 20 total carbs or less. And right after starting, I found out I was pre-diabetic. I had been on blood pressure medicines most of my life. And it was crazy. It was a crazy ride up until then. In 2007, I had gastric bypass surgery, and my husband was fantastic. He said, "You don't have to do this. I love you the way you are," all that. But I needed to do it for me because there's heart disease in my family, the high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it, it's there. And I was trying to run away from it, and that was the only thing I thought that was going to help me. And I lost about 90 pounds. I was up to almost 300 then. I lost about 90 pounds after the surgery. And they tell you after that kind of surgery to eat the whole grain foods and brown rice instead of white rice, whole grain pastas, sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes, which I know now is definitely not the right thing to be telling people that have had weight loss surgery who are trying to be healthy. And needless to say, a lot of that weight went right back on. So in September 2020, back to that, I started keto. And I had found out like a couple weeks after I started that I was pre-diabetic. And my doctor saw that I had already lost 20 pounds. And he's like, "I'm not concerned about you. You're going to be fine." And my A1C was 5.8. Nothing too bad, but it was still scary to me. So I had done a home A1C test a few months later, and it was 5.1. I was ecstatic. And I'm like, all right. So when the next time my doctor checked it, he was so excited. He was like, all right, this is great. And he never questioned what I was doing. I was straight up telling him I was on keto. This is the way it was going to be. And he was fine. That was in New Hampshire, and where I was living at the time. And my husband and I moved to Kentucky in October of 21. We had to find a new doctor. And we prayed like crazy that it was going to be somebody that would be okay with what we were doing. Because a couple weeks after I started keto, my husband did as well. He's a type 1 diabetic, like I said in my previous video. And it has done nothing but made so much better for him with his blood sugars being pretty stable. So he was really great with it. No complaints, no nothing. So we found a doctor. My husband actually found him online. He had a 5-star rating and all these rave reviews. And first meeting, couldn't stand the guy. Oh my God, I didn't like him. And I'm like, this ain't gonna be good. But as it turns out, and the visits went on, turns out he's had success on keto himself, which is why he never said anything about us doing keto. So that was a bonus in our favor. So it's okay. We found somebody else that actually is okay with what we're doing. Now, my husband's endocrinologist, on the other hand, he quit taking his statin, and she was against it. She said all diabetics should be on a statin as a preventive measure. I said, how about this? How about he not take it for a while and then get some blood work done and check his cholesterol and check all the numbers and see where he's at. If he's high, if he's in a danger area because he's diabetic, then he can always go back to taking them if need be. So she conceded unwillingly. She's like, I can't make you take it, but okay. So he stopped. And then he stopped his blood pressure medicine because he was getting up and he was really dizzy. And we messaged the doctor and he said, by all means, stop taking it. Well, now he's back on a very low dose because he was showing some kidney issues because of his diabetes. And the medication he's on will help stabilize his kidneys. So anything that's going to help him is going to be beneficial for us. That being said, he really didn't have any weight to lose, but he did drop about 10, 15 pounds. His blood sugars have been so stabilized. Words just don't even describe how good it makes me feel, not to mention him. I have dropped 100 pounds, and I just recently went up about 5, and it came off almost as quickly as it went on, thank goodness. But more than that, blood pressure medications that I have been on since a teenager, so way more than 40 years. I don't have to take them anymore, and it's the best feeling. And the pre-diabetes, no more. It's gone. It was gone so quick, just following the proper human diet and eating the way that we should be eating the whole time. So I can't stress to any of you, if you don't already know it, this is so beneficial to you to eat the right way. Eat the low carb, high or moderate fat, high protein, whatever works for you. And that's the biggest key, is figuring out what works for you, because it's not going to be the same for everyone. It's a real trial and error thing. You got to figure it out. And, thankfully I have my sister and, 3 of my nieces we're all in a group chat. We all hold each other accountable. We do weigh-ins every Saturday, and we check in with each other every Saturday, if not in between the week, in the midst of the week. So yeah, it's been great having that support system there that everybody needs. And it's like I said, if I can help one person, I can't seem to help my family. I have a son that has Crohn's, and he just won't listen to anything. He's going to listen to his doctors, which is all fine and good. But he's having a really tough time. And I talked to him the other night, and he was just, Mom, I'm going to do what my doctors tell me. I get that, but your doctors need to look further into what could be helping you. And not just doing surgery after surgery after surgery, as he's had so many that, what are you going to do? He's not going to listen. And then my younger son is trying. Him and his girlfriend have started keto in May after my husband and I went back to New Hampshire for a visit. After we got home, they said, guess what? We're going to do keto. And he's another one. He's a great kid. He won't give up his regular Mountain Dew for anything. And I don't care how many times I talk to him. It's like, okay, whatever. It's your life. But this is what you're facing. You got to do what you're going to do. Eventually, maybe you'll give it up. But he's given up a lot of stuff. He was, He was a smoker. He doesn't smoke anymore, thank goodness. And there was a lot. So I have to give him kudos for how far he's come thus far. And I have other family members that definitely need to jump on board. But you can only talk so much. It's just whatever. Whatever's going to happen, happens. But I'm here. They see me. They see how successful I've been so far. And I have a ways to go. I would like to lose about 25 more pounds. And it'll happen. Not in any hurry. Because I'm healthy. And that's the biggest thing. I feel good. I can move a lot better. I used to have back pain. I had arthritis in my back. No more. I don't have it. I've had both of my knees replaced, which is a story for another day. Because that's a long one. And they don't hurt. You know, they used to lock up. It's just all that excess weight that I was carrying around didn't make it any easier for me, even after the surgeries. So, yeah, I wouldn't advise anybody, and if they absolutely have to go under the knife, because there are so many things that can happen and did happen. So, stories for another time. And I'll be back.